3, 2, 1. We're live. Hey, babe. That's your cue.
Hey there, Hope Nation and FitLatinas. Good evening to you. We're excited to kick off a great series of trainings, which I'm going to talk about in just a few. But the very first thing that I want to tell you is that if you are catching the recording, we want you joining us live so that we can see your smiling faces or hear your voice live. We love connecting with you, and we love building camaraderie within our team to collaborate and learn and grow together. But if you are watching the recording, glad you are. And those of you who are tuning in live, awesome, huge thumbs up for you. And I see some tiny faces in the back that are joining us too. They get to learn and grow with us too. Oh, he's already yawning. All right, let's add some more entertainment to this call. The very first thing that I do want to talk about is definitely this month is the biggest challenge pack sale month of ever. We have the biggest, we have the most popular programs all on sale for $140. So that includes Max 30, 21 Day Fix, 21 Day Fix Extreme, Pile, all of Max 30, all of the biggest and baddest and greatest workouts. Those challenge packs are on sale. So you can definitely leverage them this month, which is perfect because it is Team Cup month. So if you are on a Team Cup, which we have a great representation from our teams, we have 5 teams representing strong with team captains being Miss Sarah Lewis. We have Monica and Shell that are co-running their team. We have Yvette leading the team. We have, of course, Mr. Ray Cantu and myself leading the team, and we're really excited about just what I'm hearing from the members that are participating. It sounds like there's a lot of collaboration and team spirit going on, and here's my message for you. If you are part of a team, see it through the end, leverage the challenge packs, and just really rev up your activity, maximize your activity, your presence on social media, the conversations that you're having daily with people, and see it through the end. Work as a team and really collaborate. And here's the thing. Statistically, from the past, out of every 5 members, there's typically 1 or 2 members that you don't hear from towards the end of the cup. We're checking in, people are collaborating, messaging. Don't be that person. Don't be that person that you don't hear from. You're part of a team. You're part of a great team, and we want you to see it through the end. You can, even if it's just to say, hey, I'm trying my best, check in with the group. You are part of the group, whether you put a number on the board or not, right? There's no judgment, and the name of the game is teamwork. With that, awesome, we have more people joining us. All right, and so last night we kicked off. We had a very special call with our leaders. And remember, in the beginning of the call, I mentioned a series of trainings that are happening. And so we had a few of our coaches, which include Anne-Marie, Shell, Yvette, Ray, Sarah, and myself. We collaborated last night, and we kicked off, we initiated the beginning of a series of trainings. And shout out to all of the ladies whose names I just mentioned, and plus Ray, who all are standing up to the plate, and they are really taking ownership of our team trainings. Each and every leader that I mentioned has volunteered to lead a specific training for our team. Now, all of the people that I mentioned, they were all at Summit. We were all at Summit. And so that just really sparked a huge wave of excitement. And there's one thing to be motivated for when you attend an event like that, and it's another thing to execute, especially like Carl led a team call saying that We filled our tanks. We're nutritionally nourished with information. We're nutritionally nourished with trainings from Summit and from Super Saturday. So we're going to take that nutrition and we are going to spread it among our team. So we are excited about that. And the first series of this training is going to be led tonight by Mr. Cantu, and he has a great training lined up for us. And so I'll pass the mic on to him to begin his training.
All right, babe. Thank you so much, guys. And tonight you are going to see me play a role that you've probably never seen me play before, and that is of maestro. Maestro. Tonight I'm going to be sharing you some things that are considered pretty basic in a sales environment. And for all of you, I want it to be a basic concept. And so I'm going to be tying two things together. One is a conversation that we had earlier this morning with Carlos. You know, Carlos, y'all guys, if y'all remember, he's the one that's leading, you know, the whole Latino market movement. He's the guy that's on the ground, and he's going to every city and working with the top leaders. So we had a meeting with him, and he shared something with us that I think is really going to blow your mind. It's going to blow your mind away, and I think that a lot of things are going to come together when you see this. From there, I'm going to show you how to give a presentation and when to give a presentation, because all of that is important. It all comes into play. And then I'm going to show you like how easy and fun it can be. Like, I've seen y'all guys already do this before and probably just didn't recognize it for a presentation. So at the end of this call, I want you to feel confident that you can do this. I want you to feel confident that you can take the steps that I'm going to share with you and you can effectively give a solid presentation. Okay? How's that sound? Good? Thumbs up? Yes? All right, great. So first off, guys, I am going to reference our NCT. And for those who have this printed out, we're going to be turning to the page on your presentation. Okay, for those that have no idea what I'm talking about or they can't see the screen, what I'm going to share with you first are the 4 parts of a sales, the 4 parts of a sales cycle. Okay, now this is important to understand because we all experience it. Like, when you sell a challenge pack, you have gone through these 4 steps, and I'm going to show you how you've been doing it, okay? So first and foremost, I want to readdress the 4 vital behaviors. Okay, the 4 vital behaviors, and those are to invite, be a product of the product, personal development, and recognition. Okay, those vital behaviors act as like the heart of your business and the heart of how this all works. What I mean by that is you hear us talk a lot about social media posts, okay, and to draw attention, attract attention from the people that are watching you. That's step 1 in the NCT. What's really important is that you're in the game yourself, that you're on a product, that you're experiencing something. You know, right now I'm on day 2 of P90X, and I can tell you from a firsthand experience how freaking sore I am. Okay, it's real. I can tell you how I was playing basketball with my nephew earlier today, and he was making me look like an old man because I couldn't move. Okay, and I can share those stories with you. So that's the importance of being a product of the product, because it's going to allow you to integrate your life into social media, which is super, super important, okay? The third vital behavior, personal development, like that is needed for when you face a rejection, because you will. You know, if you think that you're going to go into this and experience no setbacks and no failures, you're kidding yourself. That's not how it works. Okay, the people that make it to the other side are the ones that prevail. They're the ones that have put in work so they can get through those hurdles. You know, like if rejection didn't affect you, okay. If rejection didn't affect you, then you know you'd be a 15-star diamond by now. But the truth of the matter is that rejection does affect us, okay? And when things don't go right, that does affect us. So we need this personal development. Like, we have to have that in order for us to survive. When you cut off personal development, like, that's the equivalent of your heart quitting, stop, no longer beating. Like, it's vital. It needs to happen. And then lastly is recognition. Like, in order for all of this to work, you have to get one person. You got to get every person from, your experience, which we're going to cover in a bit, to your challenge group. You have to get them to the challenge group. And in order to make that happen, like, you have to recognize them. It's like walking with a kid that's afraid to walk, and they take their first step. You got to say, hey, that was great. That first step, that was amazing. And that's like the equivalent of recognition. Is we have a cycle that we need to get people through, and our vital behaviors act as like the engine to make it all work. Okay, everybody still with me? Yes. Okay, yes. So in the NCT, we talk about the 4 steps. To attract attention long enough to identify if somebody's interested in what you have to offer, sharing your story so you can make that personal connection with them, and then delivering a presentation, showing them what they're getting. Now, a presentation, guys, it's basically just telling people what they need to know to make the next step. Okay, it's telling people a little bit about the details on what they get with Beachbody On Demand. It's talking to people about Shakeology. Now, if you look on your sheet on presentation, we ask you to identify 3 products and then to list 3 interesting facts and 3 benefits based on your own research. Like, we point you to the direction on where to get the information, but you need to go through it and you need to identify like what's important to you. What do you feel confident talking about? Because this has to be in your presentation. If you don't talk about this and you don't show that you're a little bit knowledgeable about what you're doing, like, first off, people are going to be hesitant in joining you, and second, like, if one of these things, if you miss one of these things that's on the line items, like to give them a deadline, then they'll keep putting you off. They'll keep putting you off and say, hey, ask me again in a month, ask me again in 2 months, ask me again in 3 months. So we share this with you because this is your checklist. Like, these are the things that you need to know in regards to giving a presentation. But what I'm going to show you right now is super cool because you've seen this stuff. Okay, raise your hand if you've seen you've seen or you've heard or you've been a part of a sneak peek event, like a 3-day Beachbody sneak peek. Okay, raise your hand if you have ever been to a fit club. Okay, raise your hand if you've ever gone to, if you've ever just watched like a Facebook Live, or possibly even scrolled through somebody's Snapchat story, or maybe you're like on Instagram now and you're going through people's stories. Okay, all of those are an opportunity to give your presentation. You can do all of those the right way, and then you can also very easily do them the wrong way. And the thing that separates them is, did you give a presentation while you had their attention? Steph and I, when we first started in San Antonio, we were busy like crazy. I mean, we literally, for those that don't know our whole story, we had like 5 fit clubs running every week for like 3 months. And we would go from location to location to location, set up the projector, set up the stereo, and we'd get a good, 10 to 15 people per group. A lot of activity, but we didn't get anything from it because we failed to deliver a presentation while we had their attention. Okay, we failed to tell them the next steps to take. So I'm going to try to tie this all together right now. Your presentation is super important because it gives people directions on what to do next. It highlights what they're actually interested in versus what you think is super special about what you're talking about. Okay, so you need a presentation. You need a presentation. When we fail to give our audience a presentation, we fail to really help them. I mean, more than likely, all the people, and I have a list. I've actually been, whoops. Sorry, guys. I actually have a list of, all these people. If you see this file right here, all these people, these are all sign-in sheets from all of our events. And we fail to give a presentation, and we fail to grow our team, and with all that effort. So having a presentation is super important, guys. And if you fail to give a presentation, then you're failing to close challenge packs. You're failing to bridge the gap for people, without that presentation. And
if I could just say something real quick, Dave. I think, the number one reason we didn't present, it's like, well, we were too scared. Like, oh, what if we push them away? They're going to think we're actually trying to sell them something. Well, duh, yes, we were. That's how we were going to help them. But we were too, chicken poop to say, hey, we have incredible products that change our lives, and you should try them. But sorry, just wanted to plug that in. Proceed.
Yeah, I mean, it was, guys, to be completely honest with you, when we went through that stage in our business and we put all that activity out and we weren't getting the payback, that was probably when we thought about quitting the most. I mean, that's when it was super frustrating and not a lot of fun. What people are doing now is they're using social media to deliver their presentations, and they're making it fun. Like Carl Deichler said during Summit, make it fun. Make it fun. Believe it or not, Super Saturday at Yvette's house, that was a presentation. People that went there for the first time, they got to experience, pretty much everything that we have to offer. Okay. I was talking to Jesse, and Jesse loves to cook. Jesse and Sarah, they love to cook, and they make delicious vegan food. Inviting people over and having an event, like just come over for dinner and feeding people, that's an opportunity to give a presentation. Okay, you can do it with Facebook Live. You can do it with sneak peek events. You could do it with the Fit Club. You could do it with home parties. You can do BizOp webinars. Alex and I, we scheduled a Zoom call last week, and we got people on board, and we delivered a presentation. And then you can do live events. So this Saturday, here in Houston, Steph is going to be leading another, FitLatinas event, for people to come out and do a workout and have an experience. That's an opportunity to give a presentation. If we just go in there and do a workout and high five each other and, smile with new people that are there, we'll be doing the same thing that we did 3 years ago, and not making any progress. So it's important that when we go into that event, we talk about the stuff that's on here. We want to get them to take that next step with us and join a challenge group. Okay, so bringing everything together again. Delivering a presentation is the difference between an emerald coach and a diamond coach. Timid salespeople have skinny kids. If you're stuck as an emerald coach, if you've been there for a long time, I want to ask you, how many presentations have you given since the beginning of the year? In my mind, everybody should know that number. You should be counting how many presentations you give, because that's really where everything happens. If you imagine us meeting one-on-one, and I knew that you were interested in Beachbody on Demand, and you were also interested in Shakeology, and we met up at a Starbucks. First thing that's on my mind is I want to take this person somewhere. I want to get them enrolled in a challenge pack today, right now, before we leave. Okay, so I want to give them a deadline that's pretty urgent. I want them to act immediately. During that sit down, I have a checklist, okay? I need to make sure that they know my story so we have a solid connection. I need to make sure that they understand how it works. You're going to get immediate access to Beachbody on demand. In about 5 days, Shakeology is going to be at your doorsteps. I need to emphasize the benefits. Why are they going forward with this? And here's a tip. They're going to tell you exactly why, and all you have to do is repeat exactly what they said. Repeat exactly what they said in their words, verbatim. So you want to do this because you feel like you can't run around with your son. Okay, next time I talk, I'm going to emphasize this. When you're done with this, you're going to be running around with your son just like you want. So you emphasize the benefits that they want. Then you tell success stories. Let me tell you about another person very similar to you who he worked with me for 3 months and this is what happened. Let them know that you've had some success. You have somebody that lost 5 pounds or 10 pounds. It's your cousin. It's your sister. It's one of us. Then you pre-address objections. Okay, as you're talking to them, you make it fun. Sarah, you're really great at this. You said, you're probably thinking you can't afford this. And then you laugh. Okay, make it completely disarm them. Well, let me tell you something. I know someone that said the same thing, and somehow they figured it out, and it was one of the best decisions they ever had because they were down 10 pounds in 3 weeks. I want you to be like that, okay? So let's go ahead and talk about anything else that could possibly get in the way. And you want to address them before they become a big deal. Talk about them when they're this little before they turn, really big. Then, your call to action. Call to action. And here, guys, what I'm going to tell you is when you give somebody a call to action, be bold. Okay, be bold. This is what I want you to do. And just like Steph said, timid salespeople have skinny kids, because they're not eating. There's no food on the table. When you give someone the next step, be bold. Say it clearly. Make sure they understand what it is. Possibly have them repeat it to you. Okay, and expect for them to say yes. Expect for them to say yes. So as the entire objective of a presentation is for them to say yes to what you have to offer. Which, starting everybody off, it's going to be a challenge pack. Getting them to say yes to a challenge pack and joining your challenge group. Okay? So what I want to do right now is field any kind of questions, just kind of see what y'all guys are thinking as I'm sharing this with you. And then I'm going to give you a challenge to do before next week, okay? So if you have questions or you have a comment, yeah, I really feel like there's a missing link here. All right, go ahead, Sarah.
So you've mentioned giving a presentation on Facebook Live and on Snapchat, and the only presentations I've personally so I'm curious to know what you mean specifically by presentation, because I guess in my mind, I think presentation, I think a sneak peek, fairly detailed, and all the things you said. So if we went on Facebook Live to do this, are you thinking of doing that in a group or on our page publicly? What would that look like? Would it be this is what being a coach looks like and you just shared that, or Snapchat or Instagram? Would it just be open, hey, everybody, this is what it is? And
okay, that's a very good question. And what I'm going to share with you is what I saw Steph do with her Snapchat. I thought it was absolutely brilliant. what Steph did is she made it super exciting. And one day she probably had about, anywhere from like 15 to 20 snaps. And she thought about this beforehand. Like, she thought about how she was going to do this. And what she did is she had a good ratio of like information versus entertainment. So her first 2 snaps were her, doing what she does. And then the next snap, she introduced her challenge group that's coming up. It goes, while I got your attention, let me tell you about this challenge group that I've got coming up. It's going to be January 5th, or August. It's going to be August 15th. And here's the deal. I'm only taking 10 people. Okay, and then your next snap, you pick back up where it's like a picture of you doing your workouts or, playing with your kids, back to your life. So it serves as like a commercial. And then you got another 15 seconds of, okay, you're probably wondering a little bit more about my challenge group. Well, let me tell you how it works. Basically, I'm going to introduce you to a program. You're going to get started on a nutrition plan, and then we're all going to high-five each other at the end of it. You remember, you're doing these in 15-second bursts, so you're condensing it. And then the next slide, the next screen was something cool, her food or, something funny. And then she picked back up, and then this was brilliant. She pre-addressed the objections at the same time. You're probably telling yourself that you want to do this, but you ain't got no money. Well, I got news for you. You do got money. It's in your couch somewhere, so go find it. So she just, she was able to check off all of these things on the checklist and still make it entertaining. So when someone watched it, they got the full presentation, including a call to action. At the very end, she said, if this is something that you want to do and you're down and you don't have any excuses, then take a screenshot. And she was able to see, who actually took a screenshot. And so she could reach out to them and, continue to follow up.
Yeah, and so a presentation, it can be on coaching, it can be on, a challenge group, it can be on what you choose. And you can really think outside the box. Another example, and just to continue bridging that gap here for everyone, I'm giving you concrete examples. Is it was another Snapchat presentation where I announced it on Facebook saying, hey, join me on Snapchat. I had a giveaway. I was giving away a 21-day Fixate cookbook. And I said, anybody that submits a question will win this cookbook. Well, I had 2 questions submitted. That's it. But I pretended as though I had questions. And so I was like, all right, next question that was just snapped to me. And I went through a whole presentation, like how many challengers, how much does it cost? How do you connect with other groups? These questions weren't being asked, but this is what I want them to know. I got 2 coaches from that presentation, 2 coaches. And so you just, I had 2 questions. Nobody really participated, but I was just making it up as I go. And so you can think outside the box and present in different things, not just fixate yourself on, oh, this is what a presentation looks like and it has to be professional. Like I was using the Snapchat filters. I had purple lips on. I had, my face was a $. Like there's no like formality to this at all. It was just, and that's the beautiful thing about this business is that you can really make it your own. And something that we talked about last night on our call is that we can overthink it and think that it has to be perfect and it has to be professional. We have to wear a suit and tie. Like you don't, like just be you. And ultimately that's what's going to attract people. So you present plenty of times, as many as times as possible, for both the business to recruit coaches, and more fitness ambassadors, right? And then 2, for your challenge groups to help continue changing lives.
Absolutely. I remember when I was a brand new coach, guys, I'm going to tell you how hard my hustle was, okay? When I was a brand new coach, one of the first things that I did is I went and I printed out a complete catalog because they didn't have digital versions back then. And I printed them all out. And I would walk around with a binder like that big, if you guys can see that big. I'd go meet people up at Starbucks, And then I was just ready. I went through all this information. I had tabs. These are the products. These are the nutritional stuff. So I would talk to them about how it changed my life. I would share my story, and then I would share my pic, my before and after pic. And some of you got some really great before and after pics. That's an immediate come on in. You'll come into my office, sit down and talk to me. I'm interested. And then I would deliver a presentation. I was like, my objective is to leave here with them purchasing a challenge pack and coming on board. And so all I did was have that information ready. Whatever question they had, like I knew where to get the information, and then I went and got the information for them. And that was just a one-on-one coffee shop. Some of you guys, you're really good at inviting people over, like inviting, like 5 or 6 people over to your house. Steph and I were talking about, like, if you can get that done and, you want to go that route and have little home parties, we can go and help you co-host an event like that. Because it's the same format. If Sarah and Jesse, you guys want to do a dinner, you serve the dinner, you be entertaining, you do you, and then throughout that time with them, you start checking off these things. Just very cool, very nonchalant, making it fun, fun and entertaining. You guys, what I would encourage you to do, and here's the challenge. Okay, might as well go ahead and throw it out right now. Here's the challenge to all the coaches and to all of you leaders on the team. You leaders that we were on the call with last night. This is more of like a mandatory. Okay, this is more of like, make this happen and be a good example for the rest of the team. I want you, each and every one of you, is to find a way, with a Facebook Live event or a sneak peek event, a fit club, a home party, find a way to deliver a presentation and print out this checklist and deliver a presentation. See what it feels like, find your style, because a big part of this is just finding what you're good at, what you want to do, what you like doing, finding your style. So for the leaders, what we want to see you guys do and everyone else is if this is something that you don't see you doing yourself, then partner up. Reach out to another coach, and come up with a plan. We want to see you guys use your creativity and use your imagination and, implement this step, because we know what's going to happen. I know what's going to happen. You start giving presentations, that means that whatever you're offering, whether you're recruiting coaches or you're recruiting, challenge pack customers, your ratio of closing is going to go way up. It's going to go way up. It's more than double, more than triple. You'll probably set a record, as soon as you start implementing this. So what we're going to do, that challenge has been laid down. We want to see what you guys can come up with. And here's the thing. Because we don't want to limit your creativity, we don't want to answer any of your questions. Meaning, like, we're giving you permission to do whatever you want to do right now. Okay? Just whatever you want to do, we support it. Team up, make it fun. Put your own take on it. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take a screenshot of this presentation checklist. That way you don't have this pressure of having to go through the whole NCT just right now, and you can have this checklist to help guide you.
We do want you to be as creative as possible, and we also want you to, we also want to give you some ideas. And so basically the thing that we're trying to deliver, the message here is, just take action. Just take action. The more action you have, the better. Action on different things. For example, you can invite, these are just examples, right? We want you to be as creative as possible. Like, you guys are already meal prepping. You can invite someone like, hey, invite some friends over to show them how to meal prep. And as you're doing your meal prep thing, you can present them the container system, and this is how I do it, and this is how, this is what I do as a coach, y'all. I get people started on this program, and we follow the balanced nutrition, for example, right? I'll stop there. And then, or you guys are already working out to a workout. That's how Ray and I first started. We invite people over to our hot, sweaty San Antonio garage and say, hey, we're going to work out to an insanity. Join us. And again, you say, hey, this is what I do as a coach, like I would love to have you over at my house all the time. Let's make it even better. Take Shanti home with you with something called a challenge pack. And I'll coach you through it, and I'll get you connected with other people. And another example, like there's so many things. The name of the game is action and activity, and understand that, there isn't a cookie cutter way to grow your business. You think of a way that works for you, that is organic to the things that you're already doing. And you're just inviting people to join you and to get an inside view as to what you're already doing. The more transparent you can be with what coaching is, with what a challenge group is, with what it is that you do, holding nothing back, the more people are going to get an understanding, and there's going to be no assumptions, and you'll have that turnover. You'll continue to grow your team.
So having said that, guys, it's super important that you do this exercise on presentation, because what means the most to you may not mean the most to us. You may really, really enjoy, above everything else, the community and the camaraderie and surrounding yourself with positive people. Guess what you're going to talk about? Guess what you're going to talk about? And, when you go through the NCT, you'll realize that you want to talk about that because it means so much to you. So when you find the people that want to hear what you're talking about, when you make that connection, that's like a whole nother ballgame. So going through this exercise on your presentation and what you're going to talk about, because you could be inviting people to a free sneak peek group, you could be inviting people to a challenge group, you could be inviting people to learn about the business, whatever it is. Be prepared to talk about 3 interesting facts, and be prepared to talk about the benefits, to the people that you're delivering it to. The benefits that you're delivering it to. If you have if you're doing something on Facebook, remember that if you're trying to talk to everybody, you're talking to nobody. So be sure that when you give when you're talking. And here's something I'm seeing. This is just using my imagination. Like if Jesse and Sarah, they wanted to host a live Facebook cooking class, that sounds like it could be a lot of fun. You guys know how to put on a good show for everybody. And during the cooking, as you're talking and you're making jokes and you're telling stories, you're also including what's on this checklist. Very smooth. Very smooth. Get them to ask you, wait a minute, what were you talking about? That's super interesting. Can you tell me more about that? So let's do that. That's the best thing to do. Lay down this challenge. You guys, at the very least, we're going to treat this as a learning experience. So we can see what everyone else is doing and learn from each other. Okay, learn from each other and continuously get better at this, because this is a skill set that if you have your eyes on anything above diamond, you have to become better at. Let me see. Okay. Anything else, guys? Any other questions? Okay, so just so we're all on the same page, here's the challenge again. We want you to find a way to deliver a fun presentation. This could be a Facebook Live video. It could be inviting people over to your house to do a workout. It could be inviting people to your house for a Shakeology party, just to make some really cool Shakeology recipes. It could be to hop onto a Zoom call, a Zoom hangout. It could be, a live event, where you're getting people together, 3, 4, 5 people, for live, whatever, live anything. But the challenge is to do it, implement it from now until next week's call. So that gives you the rest of this week and this weekend to take advantage of, and be creative, put this into action, and then let's come together, because only beautiful things can happen from this. You guys are going to go and we talked about I do, we do, you do. And it was a concept of working with each other to get better. And so, you've seen us do some of these. You've seen other coaches do it. Now we're all going to do it together. We're all going to do it together, use it as a learning experience to empower you to continue to do it and continue to build your business.
All right, we're excited.
Okay.
Take action. And have fun with it, guys. Have fun with it. Choose something that is organic to you. It might make you a little nervous to put yourself out there. Those are good nerves. Those are growth nerves, and growth nerves are what keep us alive and kick in and thriving. All right. With that, there's one thing that I do want to address. And now that we have a lot more people on the call, a lot more members, we did identify the NCT. We mentioned the NCT various times, and actually this presentation list is, you can find it available on the New Coach Training, also known as NCT. We are launching a group of people, a cohort that is getting started with the New Coach Training. So if you have not participated, if you have not gone through the New Coach Training, or if you started and you didn't finish it, this is your opportunity to start with a group of coaches, and we will launch a new cohort of New Coach Training participants on Monday the 15th. Good?
Good, perfect. I'm excited about that. I mean, we've learned a lot since the last round, so super excited about that one.
Yeah. And guys, we've gotten great feedback and results from the new coaches that have gone through the NCT. The numbers, the proof is in the pudding, and the numbers are definitely showing. So I highly recommend it. We're excited to continue improving it and continue adding as many new coaches through that training as possible. Good?
All right, guys. Hey, remember that we do have future trainings. Do we know who's leading the next training?
Not yet.
Okay,
We will soon.
Special announcement.
Leaders, if you were on the call last night, make sure you check in and tell us what date you'd like to take on. Sounds good?
Sounds good.
Before we do, if you have any last questions, any comments while we get ready, while everybody turns on their cameras and smiles big for the screen shot. Question, consider hooks, right hooks. Yeah. Presentations are considered right hooks.
Yes.
It's the step after, or right?
It's this. Yeah. So what I'm hearing from you, is it a right hook? And to me, that sounds like a social media post, and you can't really give a full an effective presentation on a social media post. That's not how it works. So your right hook is what gets them to listen to your presentation, gets them into the event, gets them attention for you to talk about it.
Right, so right hook would actually be the invite. On social media, it would be a post, hey, I'm having this a virtual meal prep workshop. Comment or like if you're interested. That's a hook, right? I hooked you, I caught my attention. In person, it would be like, hey, hey, Yvette, I'm having a group workout. Do you want to join us? That's what it looks like in person. So it would actually be the next step. It's the delivery.
Mm-hmm. Good question, though.
Yeah, that was really good. It's good.
Sounds good.
All right. Ready for the screen picture? Get your smiles. Miss Emery, Susanna, if y'all can turn y'all's camera on real quick and smile. If you're on the phone, smile anyways. It's going to reflect the positive vibes. Say cheese. All right, guys. Have some good ones.
All right. Have a good night.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. Y'all have a wonderful evening, and we are excited to hear all about those presentations that you're delivering. Okay, be creative, be you. Have a wonderful night. Peace.
See you later.
Later.